Welcome to The B Word, a women's lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Katie Ploss. I'm a school psychologist, women's wellness coach, a doula, and the founder of BU, a women's wellness community. I created The B Word to share my stories, knowledge, and training to help you navigate the everyday challenges of being a woman. We discuss everything from navigating dating and relationships, parenting, building a career, to just finding what you're passionate about and figure out who you are meant to be. At The B Word, we aim to destigmatize mental health challenges, grow, heal, and empower you to be your most authentic self. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of The B Word. I'm back this week on time with Nolan.
I've been requested. I was going to give you guys a break, but I've been requested.
You'll get a break next week. I will be back next week with video and with a guest, and all will be well. But I had all the plans this week to be back at least on video, but as you can maybe hear in my voice, I'm unwell.
She had a vacation, and that vacation was brutal.
Honestly, no, I was getting sick before the vacation, and then I was sick on the entire vacation. So That was cool.
Yeah.
Loved that. So here we are, but I'm showing up, you guys. I was not wanting to show up last week. I'm really not in the mood to show up this week, but I'm still here. I'm hoping that maybe once things in my life calm down a little bit, I will be in a more of a recording mood. But the episodes so far have turned out okay, even when I haven't been in the mood to show up. So I feel that is a testament to sometimes just committing to what you committed to and showing up even when you don't want to is sometimes the right thing to do.
Yes.
I have a surprise for Nolan. He doesn't know what we're recording about.
No, like I said, I was going to let her do this one, but she decided she wanted a person.
I told him that he needed to come prepared with a blank paper and a pencil or a pen. So he's got that in his right hand, a beer in his left hand.
I'm just thriving today on this Sunday, taking care of my fiance and ready to do some, I don't know if it's a game, activity.
It's an activity.
All right.
But it's based on a game. And I'm going to explain how I got the inspiration for this, and you're going to laugh. So Nolan did not go on this vacation with me that I was just on for a week. I was in Colorado. And he was, long story, he was supposed to go on this trip, but he didn't. So he was having FOMO for most of the week. And I was telling him about all the things that would give him FOMO. Not to rub it in or anything, but just because I wanted to share it with him. And I was bummed that he wasn't there. And one of those things was my good old friend Riley, who's been listening to all the episodes, and she's been texting me after. So I appreciate that. Sup, Riley? Riley introduced this game to my dad and to a few of our friends, and it's called Wavelength. And basically, without getting like too complicated, because it's when I verbally say it, it does sound complicated when I explain the rules, but it's really not. So Nolan and I are going to demonstrate what a game of Wavelength is, and you're going to pick up on it. Basically, we're going to rate something out of 10, and then I am going to either, well, do you want to do the category or do you want to rate?
What's the point of this? Are we just playing Wavelength on?
No, relax.
Okay.
I have a point.
I'm so interested to see the creative process behind this, but I will do the rating. I will pick a number. You will pick a category when I pick my number.
Okay,
See,
so
even
basically,
I'm teaching her the game, even though she taught me the game.
Okay.
So here we go.
So Nolan is going to rate something out of 10. 1, 0's on in the runnings. 1 to 10. So 1 is like the worst, 10 is the best of whatever category. And I'm giving you the category, correct?
Correct.
All right. Do you have a number?
I am thinking, drum roll please, I have a number in my brain.
All right. The category that I am going to give you today is television shows.
Television shows. Okay. Now I have this number in my brain.
Nolan is now going to give me a television show that he would rate.
The number that is in my brain.
Yes. Let's see if I can guess.
Let's go with, oh man, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go we've been on this kick for a little bit. So let's say Love on the Spectrum.
All right. It's a good show. You liked this show. You enjoyed it. We watched multiple seasons of it. And
I can't agree or deny because I feel like that would give away some of
Well,
the...
I'm giving some context, my reasoning.
Yeah.
Because this is subjective, right? People might rate this a 1 or a 10 or somewhere in between.
If you rate Love on the Spectrum a 1, you need to reevaluate your life. That's the only hint I'm giving.
So I'm gonna say a 9.
That was a good guess. That wasn't. It is a 9.
Wow.
I was
an
leaning like when I was picking my number, I was thinking about an 8, but I was like, it's pretty.
I almost said 8, then I went to 9. It's like we have the same brain.
It's almost like we say that on a daily basis.
I know.
Anyway, yeah.
So that is the game of Wavelength. So when we were on this trip, I played many rounds of this. When you play with multiple people, it gets like even more unhinged because everybody's giving you input. So some people's ratings might throw you off. So it was like seriously one of the highlights of the trip, and I got a lot of kicks out of this. So I was thinking about what we were going to record for today, and I was like, what's been inspiring me this week? And Wavelength popped into my head, and I'm like, how could I make this into a podcast episode? And then a light bulb went off in my head. Yes, bing, ideas. I am going to do with you one of my favorite activities I do with my clients when they are either just starting to work with me, or where they're stuck and don't know where they want to go next, or if they come to session and they go, I have nothing to talk to you about today.
Are you telling me you are going to be taking us through one of your many techniques that you can experience with working with Katie Plum?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It's like a little trial version. Here we go.
Yeah, I know. So if you guys want to do this activity with us, all you need is a blank piece of paper and a pen. And I have a pretty little like PDF of it that I do with my clients. So I'm not going to link that in the show notes because it ain't for free. But I want you to do this activity, and you don't really need the pretty PDF that I do of it. We can really just do this together. But it's a great way for you if you're delving into this world of personal growth, or you've been on this journey for a really long time and you're figuring out where you want to go next, or you're just simply wanting to check in with yourself of where you're at in life and like and really get a sense of what your own perception of yourself is. It's a great activity. Basically, what I'm saying is that anybody, no matter what is going on, you could benefit from this activity, okay? All right. If you need to pause and get a pen and paper, you can also do this on the Notes app in your phone. You just want to write down the categories and then remember your number. That's really all you need. But I'm going to show Nolan and I'm going to describe this to you guys. So I have the Life Balance Mandala here. I've showed you this before, I believe.
You have.
Okay. I'm not going to pretend like this is the first time that you've seen this. I've told you about this. But I thought it would be funny to have you do it because when I told you about this, you were very resistant to doing this activity.
I was, yeah.
You were like, this isn't for me. I don't want to do this.
Yes.
So
it's not for me, but I say it wasn't for me, but I haven't tried it. So at least this is a great example of this is something that I looked at and I said it wasn't for me, but
like
we're going to try it.
Last week when we talked about therapy, when people say, oh, that's so great for them, but not for me.
See episode 3.
So now you're trying it. And then if you get to the end and you're like, that sucked, tell me after we stop recording. Just kidding. You can tell me honestly. I won't be that offended. We'll have an honest dialogue about it.
We will.
Okay. Let's begin. So, we said, there's 8 categories. Yes, I had to count them, but there is indeed 8. Hopefully there's 8. Maybe I miscounted. Could you imagine? You get through and there's 9 and I fucked up.
We're going to use the excuse of sick brain if that happens.
Yeah, we're doing our best. Like I said, I'm showing up. I didn't say I was like...
Showing up's half the battle.
Doing anything, insanely groundbreaking here. Okay, Nolan. So you're going to draw a circle and you're going to divide it up into 8 slivers, 8 slices of your life pie. Wheel of life, the Life Balance Mandala. There's many terms for this. If you're hungry like us, it looks like a pie.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
So the first category at the top of your wheel is health and wellness. Then the next one is family. Then the next one is finances and career.
Money and job.
Then the next one is community and hobbies.
Tea and hobbies. Okay.
Then the next one is home and environment.
Draw a little house for this one. And then a little tree for environment.
Yeah, I have little symbols on mine if you want to draw little pictures with it. Have some fun with it.
I'm having as much fun as I can, honey.
After home and environment, there's relationships. I have a little heart.
I was literally just drawing that. Love.
Then the next one is education.
I can't draw a brain that well, so I'll actually spell that one.
I have a light bulb.
That was a good one, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then personal development and growth is the last category. So now I want you to go through and rate 1 through 10. I'm going to do this too. We're going to talk through our answers together. This will be a great
1 through
relationship building activity for us.
10. Okay, is it like wavelength where 10 is the best?
Yes. So 10 is the best, 1 is the worst. And you're going to go through, do not spend longer than 30 to 60 seconds considering your number for every area.
So wait, you said 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 of them.
Yeah, you're not like rating them, like you're rating each area and how well it's going. 1 through 10.
You didn't explain that. So for the listeners at home, this is what you're doing for this activity. You are going through the wheel, and for each wheel,
each spoke of the wheel.
It's not based off of importance. It is.
No,
based
you're
off
not
of
ranking
how
them.
you're doing.
I said rating. You're not ranking.
Ranking.
No, they're different. So you're not ranking them in order of priority. You are rating them at how overall satisfied you are in each area. It's a satisfaction rating. I apologize if I wasn't clear on this.
No, you were not. Thank you for telling me that. Restart the clock and go.
And go.
All right, I'm done.
I'm almost done. Okay. Shall we begin?
Yes.
All right.
Also, I just want to say, this isn't for the listeners, this is for me and you. I have thought my entire life that I've held a pencil wrong, and you are holding the pencil the exact same way that I do.
I probably do hold it wrong. I have horrible fine motor skills.
Like, I have horrible handwriting.
We should have done a video for this.
No, like, I have horrible handwriting. Like, I have great fine motor skills. Katie can attest. I have great fine motor skills.
You don't have good handwriting, though.
I have horrible handwriting.
I don't have good handwriting either.
Katie's hard on herself, but she has fantastic handwriting. Not like the best.
I feel like a lot of people can't read my handwriting. Like, a lot.
No, you very, not to like stereotype, but you have very girlish handwriting. And like,
are you stereotyping women on a women's podcast?
Yes, I am. Come at me.
Canceled.
Yeah, exactly. The first season canceled. But no, like for real, like my entire life, I've had pretty horrible handwriting, and
you have very stereotypical boy handwriting.
Anyway, rambling over. That's just something I noticed, and like I said, it wasn't really for the listeners, but it's an interesting conversation piece. Next time,
what does your pencil grip say about you?
Exactly.
Maybe we could do a whole episode about that. The psychology of a pencil grip.
It's got to be like online facts though, like where there's no way it could be true.
Yeah, it's all fake.
People say
fake
that
science.
if you hold your pencil with your pointer finger instead of your middle finger, you have a chance to live 20 years less than the average person.
They do say left-handers have a shorter life expectancy or something.
Again, that sounds like a total like farce of a...
They also say left-hand people are more creative.
But yes, it sounds like a farce in any way. That's just my little...
That's your tangent for today.
Tangent for the day. Anyway,
hopefully this has given you enough time to finish rating the spokes of your wheel of life, and that you have completed all 8 categories. Okay.
I've done that. Please take me through the next step, Katie.
All right. So now we're going to share. We're going to talk about our reasoning behind each area, and then our takeaways. What we notice, we can notice about each other's. Just general reflection time. Okay, so let's start with health and wellness. What did you rate yourself under health and wellness?
Out of 10, I gave myself a 7.
Nice. Okay.
What did you give yourself?
I gave myself a 4.
A 4.
Yeah.
Should we go over why?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. Why did you give yourself a 4 out of 10?
I feel like I'm like making an effort with my health and wellness, obviously. Well, obviously to you, but not to the listeners maybe. But I've been doing a lot of like doctoring and appointments
So why
and
does that justify a 40%?
changing my routine. Hold on. Changing my routine, trying to improve my health and wellness. I'm making an effort, but I feel like I'm seeing like no results.
So you're very result based in your answers, because this was actually
With health and wellness. I
This
think
is
it
a
depends on
very-
the category.
I was gonna say this is a very good point for your wheel, because there were times when I was filling this out that I thought the exact same thing. Is, am I thinking of results or in the moment or my steps toward it? I think it's very interesting to look at your perspective on the wheel itself. Just
Yes.
again, a Nolan hot topic right
Well,
there.
no, I think it's a good point, and I think that's something honestly that I do point out to my clients sometimes, like when they're being
Because as your unofficial therapist looking at you from
you're
across
not
the
my
table.
therapist.
No, I said unofficial. God, get the potatoes out of your ears anyway. As your unofficial therapist, to rate yourself as a 4, it gives me the self-deprecating vibes, and I think looking at you and knowing what you've done and what you're doing, I think you're much higher than a 4.
What would you rate me?
I
Maybe a
again, I
7?
think I think you'd be closer to what I'm at, because we as a partnership have in the last couple months definitely have taken steps toward being healthier, and I think honestly you've taken more steps than I have, and I like rate yourself way lower than me. I just don't see it. I think you're closer to the 7, 8.
I just feel like I could be like doing more things consistently.
It's like this podcast, honey. It's like it's showing up's half the battle, and if
Yeah.
you're
That's what I'm doing. I'm starting. I feel like I'll feel
and
better
I think you've done more
about
than
it.
just. I think you've done more than just showed up. You're busting ass at the gym. You're changing your diet ways. You're doing a lot of things that are out of the norm. The way that I was looking at it. Sorry to ramble again, but the way that I was looking at it is, if I gave myself like a 5, that's like pretty cut down the middle, stagnant.
Neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means you're not making any changes. And to say you have a 4, the way I'm interpreting it
Well,
is you're
okay.
going backwards.
But the question is how satisfied you are.
Okay.
So like I'm
again,
not satisfied with where I'm at.
Yeah.
Now, am I putting effort into this area? Yes. But am I satisfied? No.
Yeah. And I think
So I had to go lower than a 5.
And I think that's where these things warrant discussions, because yeah, you could put your satisfaction on here and interpret it literally as your satisfaction, and 100%. Like, yeah.
There's some circumstances where you're not satisfied and you're not making any changes. That
Yeah.
is like that might be one way to take it.
No, I think
But-
you're right. I think that's what I'm saying is,
It's you're not satisfied and you're still trying your best, but like you're still
what would you say to your clients, let's say, taking a step and you are in the other shoe?
I think it's just noticing patterns as we go
So
through
if
this.
your patient came to you,
I'll call them my patients.
your client came to you
Sorry.
and said, I feel like I'm at a 4 in this specific area.
We would have this exact type of conversation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So is this the point of the wheel?
Oh my god. Well, let's go through the rest of it and find out.
Oh, we're going through
We only got through one spoke so far.
Yeah, okay, so health and wellness, you gave yourself a 4.
Yeah.
I gave myself a 7.
Okay. Family, I gave myself an 8.
So you are an 8 satisfied with your family.
Yeah.
Was the way that... Okay, so...
Yes.
See, I put 6, not in the fact that I'm not satisfied with my...
Damn.
Yeah, it's not...
Sorry, Laura.
No, it's not a 6 as in satisfied with my family. It's a 6 as in where I'm at right now, and like where. So in terms of how much interaction I have with my family, how in depth I am with creating my own family, I think that's where I put a 6. Is like you said, I'm putting in the effort, but I'm not to the point where I want to be. If I had to say my satisfaction with
Where do you want to be?
like I said, with a family, with a lot
Like
of
having a family?
having a family, a lot of communication and respect and love with my family, which I do. Like my family, I love my family, but sometimes I wish I could spend more time with them. That's, again, it's not a satisfaction.
I was thinking about where I am in this moment in time.
Yeah. And like I said, that kind of relates. I love my family. If I were to rate my family, 10 out of 10. But if I were to rate my interaction with my family, I think it could be higher. And that's why I put a lower one, like a 6.
All right.
I love my parents and I love my family and the rest of them. But I wish I could spend more time with them.
Okay, so your lower rating is coming from not spending as much time
Yeah, as I
with your
would
family.
like to. Not satisfaction of my family.
You're not rating your family.
Yeah,
Okay.
not to get confused.
I would say that my 8 comes from things are relatively peaceful at the moment in my family. I'm thinking more my like immediate family.
I like how you
Um,
clarify that.
Things are as peaceful. Well, I mean, really, in my extended family too. Things are as peaceful as they're gonna be.
I love that for you, honey. I
So
love that.
that's an 8 for me. We don't need to go any further than that.
Okay, next one.
Finances and career. I gave myself a 7.
I gave myself a 6.
Oh, I thought that was a 2. I was like, damn.
I mean, I want to give myself credit, and that's kind of why I'm at a 6. I am trying, and I am putting in the effort. If I were put like where am I like satisfied? Yeah, definitely like a fucking 3 or 4.
But
like
the question is satisfied, not how much effort you're putting in.
no, I'm not saying effort I'm putting in. I'm saying it's they're all tied together. Like it's like you with the health and wellness. It's the result. So
Right.
as in the 6, I say, where I'm at right now, would I be happy with it for the rest of my life? Absolutely not. But am I happy that I'm taking the steps and I'm making moves, so to speak? Yeah.
Okay. I said a 7. I'm actually very happy with what is happening in my career right now. And that could be possibly a 10. I do feel that I have a horrible work-life balance at the moment.
Oh, you were that goes along with having 3 different jobs and blah 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 that
Yeah.
we talked about.
So I feel that I had to rate that lower just
little
because I am. But that's the season of life I'm in right now. But that's the point of this, is that I'm in this moment.
Well, it's
That's
like
how
you
I'm feeling.
It's like you said last episode too. You're like burnt out with
Yeah.
what you love, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, I love my job. I'm making so much growth and gains, both income wise and what I'm getting to do and opportunities and networking and like all the things. Like it's going really well, but it's just a lot.
Yeah.
It's intense.
All right.
Next category, community and hobbies. I gave myself a 5 in this because I do feel like very neutral about this at this time.
I probably could have said 5, but I gave myself a 3
Oh, okay.
in the same sort of sense. I feel very neutral, if not a little less than neutral, in like you said, just balance and time and all
Yeah,
that.
I
And
feel like
how
I
much
don't. I'm not giving it priority really at this
yeah,
time.
I think it's hard. Just
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, it's the season, and
Yeah.
like in this season, like as much as there are so many things that I would love to do, my cars and my hockey and all that stuff, and it's just got to prioritize your time.
But yeah, so I just put myself neutral there.
Yeah.
Because I do have hobbies and I know what I would like to do, and it's not like I have an absence or like lacking in my life, but I'm not making room for it. And I
Yeah,
acknowledge
you
this.
know what you want to do. It's just
Yeah.
it's like you haven't.
I know that there will be seasons where I can. Same for you.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Next category is home and environment. I gave myself an 8.
Same.
I'd say you're doing great with our house and improving it and making it more tech savvy and organized. And I enjoy living here.
That is literally that's all I love to hear as your unofficial handyman. Is
Yeah.
just I love just making the houseier, homier.
But I love the condo. I'm happy I bought it. I like living here. I think it's a central location to a lot of things. And ultimately, I put in my contributions to our home. You put in your contributions to our home, and it's been working. So I'd say would I like to eventually be in a house? When are we going to be able to do that? Do I have some of those wonderings that maybe like I rated it a little lower than a 10? Sure.
Yeah, no, it's
But-
we're not in a perfect living situation. It's
But
like
it's like
but
pretty
it's
good.
pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm
I mean,
grateful
and
for
it's it'll change as the seasons change. Marriage, kids, all that fun stuff. Yeah, that goes with everybody. It's
sure.
very hard to. It's I think very hard on this list to achieve a 10.
I didn't rank myself a 10 anywhere on the list, and I never do.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Even if I'm incredibly satisfied in an area, if I'm rating it a 10, that means not that it's arrogant. I think maybe is like a legitimate argument to do it either way. I just feel for me personally, there's always room to grow.
No,
and
absolutely.
always room to reflect.
I
So if
can-
I'm giving myself a 10, then it's like, what am I really reflecting on?
Exactly. It's the same exact thing. I did not put one of these at a 10, and it doesn't mean that in like the relationship category that I'm not like absolutely goo goo gaga whatever about you, but yeah, there's
What did you put for relationships?
oh good. That was a fantastic transition. I put a 9.
Nice. I had to divide this into subcategories.
I was thinking the exact same thing when I was looking at it, so I would like to hear what your thoughts are.
I put you in your own category, and then I put friends in another category. And that had to happen because I couldn't give. The ratings are so vastly different
Yeah, I figured just that.
that I could not
Yeah.
apply both. So for you, I gave you a 9.
Thank God I'm on that end. I wonder what we're gonna talk about now.
Wouldn't that be awkward if I was like, it's a 1 and this is so awkward, but I'm
Yeah.
like dumping you on the podcast?
I would cry.
Yeah, that'd be really terrible. No, I gave you a 9, and like I said, I don't ever give a 10, so this is the highest rating you could get. And I feel that you and I are doing really well with working through our challenges and communicating and all the things. And
Also,
we adore each other. Whatever. It's
Yeah, like-
disgusting, all that too.
like you said, it's enduring the challenges and celebrating the good times.
That's right.
But-
And appreciating each other, all that good stuff. I gave my satisfaction with friendships right now a 3.
Situational
Yeah.
in the season.
Yeah. I talked about this on outgrowing a friend. I just think that I am like in a season right now of, I don't know if it's a lot of different things. It's just a lot of transition, a lot of change in my friendships. Good, bad, and I think I'm doing a lot of reflecting on where like I'm the common denominator in that, and then where like maybe I don't need to take all the responsibility, and trying to walk that very tricky, delicate balance of being self-aware and also holding other people accountable for their bullshit.
I like that. And like you said, I think this kind of it almost can be like a Venn diagram to where you take this like this pie of 8 things, and if you really wanted to dissect it as like a therapist / patient.
And I think you can. I think the nice thing about doing this activity is if you need to break a certain category down into other
Yeah.
subcategories, I've done that with clients.
Yeah,
I think
like
it
my
just
3 I could take and like literally make subcategories, and I think that'd be really impactful for me.
yeah, for
So-
sure.
So I think like this is just a prime example of why I think
But that's the cool thing about working with a coach is like I'll direct my clients to do that. Let's break this down a little bit more. Like this rating doesn't maybe make sense for everything. Let's talk about it.
But I'm enjoying this activity.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Anyway,
I knew you would.
yeah, I know.
So you said overall your relationships were a 9. Would you like to break this down?
Yeah, no, if I were to do the same exact thing that you did, I'd say a 9 for us, and probably like probably 7 for like normal friendships.
Yeah.
Like, because I love all my friends,
Your
but
friendships
like you
are
said,
solid.
yeah, my friendships are solid, but we're all just in like different seasons right now,
Yeah.
doing our own things, and
Separate but solid.
yeah, and I think like,
Mhm.
that just happens when you get older. I talk to my parents about that all the time, and
Mhm.
they're in their season of they've been over the last like 10 years or so reconnecting with a lot of their good friends who they've been friends with for decades, and now they're literally like fucking college kids and partying and shit.
When kids don't weigh you down anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not that
We're
kids,
going into a season
yeah,
of
it's not
just
even like
focusing
it's not
on
even yeah, it's not even like kids weighing you down. It's careers and kids and
yeah,
and
life
relationships
responsibilities.
and everything. Yeah,
For sure.
there's just life be life, and
Yeah. Education is the next category. I put myself as an 8. It's pretty simple. I'm very excited about getting my doctorate. Proud of myself for doing this. It's a lot though, so I didn't give myself like a 9 or a 10, but I'm excited that I'm pursuing this.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
I said 5.
You're just neutral.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm not like thrilled where I'm at, but I'm happy that I have some education under my belt, and I'm excited to improve that score, and I am looking forward to doing what we've talked about. So
Cool.
Yeah.
The last category, personal development and growth. I gave myself a 9 because there's always room to grow, but I'm very proud of all the work that I've done over the last 4 years. I think I've talked a lot about that. I think everyone knows that I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah, this one was
Probably like my highest. It is my highest area overall. Is just personal development.
This one's been tricky for me, and I think I gave myself like a 7.5.
Hmm.
And it's not, again, it comes down to I'm not like miserable with myself. I think I've always had a very, if I were to like relate this on a life scale, like I've always had a really low number here just because I'm my own biggest critic.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that number, it just continues to grow. And I think the more results I start seeing, the more that number will grow. And it has grown. Yeah.
It's a decent rating. I think anything over a 7 is pretty satisfied.
Yeah, it's decent.
So sometimes what I do at the end of this, just for fun, I don't know if you want to do it.
Of course, you're taking me through it.
I don't always do this with clients. Just depends on the client and what we're talking about.
This is the trial run for anybody that may want to do this with Katie Blas.
I add up all the areas and then divide them by 8 and average. What's your life overall average?
You know, the math.
Or if you divided anything up into subcategories, then just divide it by the number of categories that you rated.
The math dork in me was wondering if we were going to do this.
Are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited.
We're out here pulling out our handy dandy
You
calculators.
don't even know how excited
So
I
I'm
am.
going to divide mine by 9 because I divided relationships up in 2. But if you did all of them just the normal way, then you would add everything up and then divide it by 8. That's 61 divided by 9. Okay. My overall satisfaction was a 6.7.
Mine was a 6.4.
Damn. What are your feelings about this number? It feels low. Feels low, but not. I don't know.
No, I think it's very weighted. It's hard to take an average when these categories are so diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
This is where you don't always need to do
skepticism-
this,
Yeah.
which is that's really honestly a for funsy thing. Why?
Because it just showed that we're not satisfied with life.
No. Okay. No, not necessarily. I think there are areas that we're very satisfied with, and then there are areas that we are very unsatisfied with. And that can really fucking weigh you down, even when you're not, even when you're really satisfied with an area.
I do like that. I like that perspective of it. Yeah.
Like, that can still really weigh you down and make you feel like your whole life fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But it really doesn't. Like, there's just these 2 areas that are shitty right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of totally discounting the rest of the pie.
Yeah, because if you were to ask me,
I'm not editing that out. I'm leaving that in there that you told me to do that, though.
I'm not going to come on these podcasts anymore. I just get insulted. No, I like that because I think that really puts things into perspective when you're going through crises, whatever.
Crises, yeah.
It really does put things in perspective because if you were to ask me, chart aside, if you were to ask me, rate my life
1 to 10 right
1
now.
to 10 right now,
What would you give it?
I would probably in general, I'd give myself like an 8 or a 9.
See, I'd give myself a 7. I really wouldn't be that far off. I was like a 6.7, right?
You give yourself a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a couple areas that are really weighing me down right now. And I'm just really tired and sick.
Yeah, fair. Maybe wrong time to ask.
Yeah, true.
Maybe not in crises. Ask
I'm
that
not
question.
like in crisis, but I'm going through it at the moment.
Yeah.
And the nice thing, whatever, the cool thing about this activity is you can do it at any time. You could literally do it every day and it might look different. This is just a snapshot of a moment right now. But what I think is so interesting when I do this activity with clients is that when, like I said, a lot of times I either do it right when I first meet somebody or when they're like, Katie, I have nothing for us to coach on. And I'm like, get the fucking wheel of life out. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Rate your areas. And there's always something that they're not satisfied with. And I'm like, okay, first of all, why didn't you bring this to coaching? Number 1. And number 2, if you're not bringing it to coaching, what's keeping you resistant from wanting to coach through this? And it just opens up a dialogue for you to start to look at these areas that you're not satisfied with. That's like my favorite time to do the life wheel.
Mm-hmm.
When people are like, Katie, I don't have anything to talk about. And there's nothing, quote unquote, bad going on. Or everything's just meh. And then the question is, why aren't these areas a 10 or a 9 or an 8? What could bring you to that? with my, for example, with health and wellness, what could bring me to an 8? Part of that would be the results of it. But also, I think I know that I could put in more effort than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, like on a daily basis. The reason the things that, and okay, what keeps me from putting in effort? That'd be the question I would ask myself as a client, right? If I'm sitting in a mirror, what keeps myself from putting more effort? What keeps myself from putting more effort is that I put my effort into my relationships, my schooling, my career, and all these other areas that takes away from my bandwidth, put effort into that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I have more shame and guilt about not doing enough in this area, but I don't have any more bandwidth to put into it.
Here's an interesting question. So let's say we added up all those points.
Yeah.
A perfect score would be an 80, theoretically, because 8 sections, if you add more sections, you do math, blah, blah, blah. But let's say 80 is a perfect
Like everything
score.
was 10 out of 10?
Yeah, if everything was 10 out of 10, you have 80 points in
Okay.
your life. Just
Okay.
let's bear with me for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You have 80 points in your life. Another way of thinking about it would be, let's say you gave yourself a score and it came out to be like 60 something. 60. So that means that there is a missing 13 points somewhere. And like, to your point, if you're taking more from this category and putting it all in another category, are there 13 points missing somewhere? Or is that like your capacity? Because let's say...
Yeah, where are the missing points?
Exactly. That's a thought-invoking question right there, is because think about it. If you're giving a relationship a 9, and let's say you're giving your health and wellness a 4, does that mean you have to take out of your relationship to raise your health and wellness? Or does that mean that there's something in your life you have to change to get those points back? Because
I think it's something you have to change. And you know what? I think for me, it would be a mindset change.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a priority change. It would also be evaluating, like, okay, I put a lot of effort into my friends and I'm rating that a 3. Interesting. I'm putting in a lot of effort and I'm still rating it really low. So my mindset needs to change about the effort, about the people. It might be various things, right? Like I don't need to go into in a coaching situation, we would probably go into the like sticks of that part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a great analogy of what steps or what do you need to take? What would it take to get those points back and get yourself a perfect score around the wheel?
Yeah, and I think you could really get into the nitty-gritty of this whole system because
that's
like
that's
you said,
kind of the fun of it.
Like you said, there's no possible way. I won't say no possible way because there are a lot of happy people out there. But if you are getting 80 points, that means your life is perfect.
You better be careful. You're not going to get struck by lightning and die or something.
Yeah,
no, what's the point of living if you're not learning?
So it's cool to look at that chart and say, what is your maximum amount of points for your life? And it's going to vary for everybody, because I'm not saying that there's zero possibility for you to have a perfectly happy life. Everyone has a different capacity for happiness. But if you think about it, like a 10 out of 10 is perfect. There's nothing you would change, blah, blah, blah.
Some days I feel like some things are a 10 out of 10.
And yeah, that's totally fine. And like you said, it's a snapshot in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But like that just goes to show you're not going to have 80 points all the time, every day. Because if that were the case, then life would be easy.
The gap is to help draw your attention. The gap is to help shift your mindset. The gap is to help give you evidence of where you're going next. And I think it's a great activity I love to do with people when they're feeling lost, when they're feeling unsure, because it helps quantify the gap. It helps give it some traction, give it some tangibility, so you can wrap your hands around it and really get into what's the next step and not make it feel so overwhelming.
I will say, like, after this activity, it's been very therapeutic in that, like, at least the way that I'm interpreting it, and like everybody's open to their own interpretation of this thing, because that's therapy is. But what I really like about this is that it shows everyone has a different capacity for how much energy they have, how much their life is affecting them. There's a lot of different outlooks that you can look at this. It is literally a circle that you're not looking at one face. You're not looking at a square where it's one face or a cube. You're looking at a circle. Like literally there are infinite number of outlooks you can look at this and different things you can change.
It's a wheel with spokes.
It's a wheel. It could be a ball.
It's a mandala.
It depends. Are we 3-dimensional? Are we 4-dimensional?
I don't know. The possibilities are endless, really, though.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So thank you for indulging me in this activity, even though you didn't like the idea of doing it.
I think it's kind of cool, and honestly, like I think we might incorporate that into our relationship more. Like,
what? Doing
a
a reflection?
Yeah, it's kind of cool to, like I said, look at it and like my math brain be mathing, and I like want to break down some of these areas even more. So it's like a very simple tool, but like you can take it and make it as complicated, as complicated as you want, and invest as much energy into it as you want. So
I think this is a great follow-up of our last episode of just being in resistance to doing some of these activities. And because do you remember what you said to me when I showed you this activity? Like, it was a couple months ago, I feel
I don't
like.
remember what I said verbatim, but
The gist, though?
I don't know. Remind me.
It was like after you had gone to therapy, had gone to a therapy session, and you were telling me about the session. I don't even remember the specifics of what you were telling me about. I mean, I do, but you know what I mean, for the sake of this explanation. And I was like, let me show you my life mandala that I like to do. And you were like, oh my God, that's not the type of coaching, therapy, whatever that I like to do. I don't want to do these like little silly activities. That's not how I
use the word silly activities. But yes, I remember that I was very skeptical to it because and it doesn't help that she made it very pink and girly, and I was like,
yeah, that's true. I had you circle it on a piece of paper. But again, yes, I made it look like how I like it, but you can be as creative. Like I said, even if you were doing this on the notes app of your phone and you were just listing it out, and then you just put a number next to each category, it doesn't have to look like a wheel. It's visually helpful to look like a wheel.
I kind of was a little like the wheel, so honestly, you would
recommend the wheel. I recommend the wheel too.
I would recommend making your own wheel. I think that Katie's is
some people do that. Some people Katie's like color theirs.
Is a great example of it, but honestly, like looking at my wheel, like I drew pictures, I wrote my own.
Yeah.
Like she told me what the categories were, but I like shortened some of them, something that connected to me. So honestly,
the key is not really the worksheet, y'all. It's the conversation and the quality of the conversation you're having with yourself or with a coach or with a therapist about your interpretation of the wheel. That's really the as Nolan said, the therapeutic aspect of it. The creativity part is encouraged, so you can make it look however it speaks to you. So Nolan enjoyed drawing it and making his own symbols, and that had more meaning to him. So that's more effective than using my pink girly wheel.
Yeah, I thought it was, and again, I know this is BU, Women's Wealth and Wellness, but like when I looked at it originally, even if you're not a girly girl, or even if you...
It's good feedback for me, though.
Yeah, no, like even if you're a little skeptical being like a girl going into it, like the best thing that I did was I just tried it.
Just try it.
I just tried it, and I like.
And if it's not for you, it's like picking up a book you don't like. You can just put it down.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was thinking that I was like doing this. I'm like rating them all. I'm like, how thought provoking is this going to be? And it turned out to be really good. I like it.
Thanks for being honest.
Yeah. So.
And genuine and authentic. You're really part of the brand, Nolan.
You tell me that all the time.
Proud of you and your work today.
Thank you. I feel
proud of us.
Yeah.
So the takeaway is, I hope that you walked away with your own wheel. I hope you walked away with your own set of ratings and your own reflections and things to continue to think about. I would love for you to share with me pictures of your wheel. If you message me your ratings or what you thought about it or what you took away from it, I would just really enjoy hearing everybody's experience if you tried this activity with us. I hope you did. That was the point. And that's why I wanted to do this episode. It was a way I said this season, I wanted it to be more about you, the listener, and you becoming your most authentic self. That's what we did today. We took another step to be more authentic and to really reflect on yourself and your own stuff. So I'm proud of you if you did this activity. And if you haven't done it yet, just do it. Just try it.
Try it.
You spent all this time listening to the episode. You might as well try it. So after you've tried this lovely tool and activity, head over to the BU community website if you liked it and you want to check out more of what I got for you. I have classes, I have workbooks, I have lots of goodies for you on there. So don't forget to check that out. And I will be back next week with a new guest. So I'm excited for that next week. I hope this was a fun one for you all, and I will be back soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of The B Word.
That's all for this episode of The B Word. Don't forget to check out the show notes for any resources we shared with you today, as well as finding our links to our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, and our website, bucommunity.com. You can find out all of our course offerings, memberships, opportunities to work with me individually, and more. That's all for now. See you next time.